You're watching Central Illinois' best source for news and weather. WAND News Today starts now.
Remembering a fallen police officer, where you can celebrate the life of Officer Christy Miller tonight.
Plus, Decatur Public Schools are looking for teachers to fill more than 70 positions, what they did yesterday to bring more teachers in.
And ahead of winter weather, you're going to want to prepare your car. I've got some things you can do this morning before you leave for work.
Now, we'll be back out there with Karen in just a minute, but right now we want to toss it over to meteorologist Jessica Dobson, who's tracking quite a few systems coming through, right? Correct?
Yeah, we're talking about, it's just a doozy of a weather system, because not only are we expecting some snow, some rain out of this, but also some much colder temperatures on the back end of this system. We'll talk about the exact timing and how much we're expecting coming up in my full forecast. And also, as we dive further into winter, it's best to be prepared before heading out. WAND's Karen Eisert is live outside with some simple things to do before getting on the road this morning. Karen, what is the most important thing we can do?
Well, Jessica, so this morning what you can do is really check your car. So coming to the front of the car, checking the battery, checking the windshield wiper fluid. Those are just some simple things that you can do. Now, when you head towards the inside of the car, so, this is kind of more the outside, heading towards the inside, make sure you think about things such as your lights, the windshield wipers. These are things you're going to want to take advantage of and make sure that they work. Now, also, when you move further outside, talking about tires. Tires are so important, especially when it comes to tread and then the amount of wear that's done on them. AAA says that it's important to take all of these things so that you can stay safe.
Motorists should take precautions before they get on the road, and that is number 1, to have their battery checked, number 2, to check their tire pressure, and number 3, to make sure that they have at least half a tank of gas in their car.
Something else you're going to want to remember is having an emergency kit in the back of your car. So coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we'll break down the items you need to have in case of a winter emergency. Jess?
Thank you, Karen. After you're seeing your car is ready to hit the winter roads, remember to drive with caution. AAA is also offering tips to help all drivers stay safe. First, avoid braking on ice. You should start braking during your approach so you can control the skid. Also, watch for icy surfaces on bridges and overpasses, even if the rest of the road looks clear. Drive with your low beam headlights. And lastly, keep your fuel tank at least half full to avoid the tank freezing up.
Half a tank is to provide safety, number 1, in case something happens and you do have to pull off to the roadside and wait for assistance. You have enough gas to keep you safe and warm while you wait.
AAA also wants to remind drivers to never use cruise control in precipitation and freezing temperatures. Now, 2 schools in Central Illinois are already letting out early today. The Jacksonville School District is letting students out 1 hour early on its SIP day schedules, and Edinburgh School District is letting students out 2 hours early at 10:30 this morning. For the most up-to-date information on the upcoming weather, download the WAND News app and the WAND Weather app. You can find both in the Google Play and App stores.
New this morning, the Piatt County Democratic Party is calling on County Board Chair Ray Spencer to resign after he was charged with 4 Class 3 felony charges. Our partners at the News-Gazette report Spencer turned himself into authorities on Monday when he was charged with official misconduct and forgery. At least one of the charges stems from the accusation that Spencer altered and forwarded an email sent by State's Attorney Dana Rhodes to a member of the press. That email contained legal advice about public meetings and approving the county budget and tax levy. And despite this, Spencer was back on the job Wednesday. Now, the Piatt County Democratic Party says although officials haven't released a verdict in his case, Spencer has, quote, shaken trust in local government, end quote. The party says other board members had knowledge of the action Spencer is accused of, and they want the board to be more transparent throughout the future.
A Macon County Sheriff's deputy is now back on the job after a DUI charge against him was dropped in court. 27-year-old Drake Lambden pleaded not guilty in December after he was ticketed for DUI the month before. Macon County Sheriff Tony Brown told WAND News Lambden has been on unpaid leave since December 20th. But the DUI charges were dismissed after he pleaded guilty to disregarding a stop sign. He was fined $200 and was sentenced to 1 year of probation. Sheriff Brown says his office will discipline Lambden internally. Today in Gibson City, people are gathering to celebrate the life of a Champaign officer who lost her battle with cancer. Officer Christy Miller died last Friday. Her celebration of life will be at the Rosenbaum Funeral Home from 4 to 7 this evening. There will also be a law enforcement honor guard ceremony walkthrough at 5.
After Golden Apple scholars from across the state turned Decatur Public Schools yesterday, the district is hoping those students will be willing to fill its more than 70 unfilled positions. Golden Apple provides college students with a fast track to become teachers through accelerated programs. The goal is to get students interested in becoming teachers while solving the state's teacher shortage. District leaders say it can be difficult to recruit new hires in a less populated location.
Well, a lot of times when I am at career fairs, a lot of people have never heard of Decatur Public Schools, and if they have us confused with Decatur, Georgia, or somewhere like that. And if they've heard of us, still they've never been inside of our schools. This gives our community and those prospective candidates an opportunity to come in and see exactly what we're doing. There's been a lot of things in the, I would say, media about what Decatur is doing, but we're really trying very hard to recruit those strong, qualified candidates to our school district.
In addition to full-time teachers, the district is looking to fill other types of roles like social workers, teaching assistants, and substitute teachers. And the Decatur Public School Board has approved a new job position within the district. A Director of Research, Data, and Accountability was approved this morning in a special meeting. The Human Resources Department says this position is entry level and the base salary for the position is more than $108,000. There's no word on when the position will be filled.
For the first time since 2014, the University of Illinois will raise the price of tuition, fees, and housing rates. Tuition for new in-state freshmen will jump more than 1%, and international students who are incoming freshmen will see their tuition increase by more than 3% at the Springfield campus. Representatives for the university say the tuition increase will help collect enough money to hire new professors. And UIS is celebrating MLK Day by helping out the community. On Monday, students will pack 30,000 meals as part of the Pack Shack Feed the Funnel Party. These meals will go to local charity organizations. Students will be packing meals from 2:30 to 5 Monday afternoon in the UIS Student Union Ballroom.
Now, WAND per FCC frequency reallocation will be changing to a new over-the-air frequency starting January 25th to the 26th. Now, if you want WAND over the air, you will need to rescan your TV channels. You can do this after 2 a.m. on January 26th. For more information on how to rescan, you can go to our website, WANDTV.com.
Still ahead, studies show too many Americans aren't moving enough. How much exercise you need to be getting each and every week.
And some sweet Valentine's Day candy is going back on the shelves, but it won't exactly be the same. Why sweethearts won't have the savory sayings this year.
Some doctors keep prescribing opioids with anxiety medications despite knowing the dangers.
That's right. In 2016, the FDA issued a warning about combining opioids and benzos because of the risk of breathing problems. But a new study shows 1/3 of office visits where benzos were prescribed also included opioid prescriptions. Women and older adults were the most likely to receive dual prescriptions.
And a new report from the Centers for Disease Control finds too many Americans aren't moving enough. It shows that in 2018, more than 15% of adults in all 50 states plus U.S. territories were physically inactive. That means they don't walk, run, or garden enough. Puerto Rico had the highest rate of inactivity, and Colorado had the lowest. And overall, people living in the South were least likely to be active. Current guidelines recommend adults get at least 2.5 hours of moderate exercise each week.
Sweethearts are back, but this year they're going to be silent. The reason these candy hearts won't have the sappy sayings.
Plus, state Medicaid is now covering gender reassignment surgeries. Why the transgender community says this will make a major difference.
But first, let's take a look at next week's After Coffee deal. $25 gets you $50 to spend at Waite's Dry Cleaners in Decatur. Head to WANDTV.com to learn more about this deal and others we still have available.
Not only are we dealing with the rain and snow, we're also going to be dealing with some Arctic cold temperatures. Wind chill values potentially by Sunday morning, dipping down into anywhere from about 5 to 10 degrees below zero. I'll talk more on when we'll see the return of sunshine and more pleasant weather coming up after the break.
The iconic Sweethearts candy is back on the shelves for Valentine's Day after missing a year because of a change in its ownership.
But consumers might notice a few changes. That includes fewer sayings, and a slightly different taste. Now, Sweethearts was sold to Spangler Candy, which moved production and then ran into production problems.
Those problems included the need for a new printer for those little sayings. So more of the conversation hearts will be silent this year.
Well, sometimes love is a little quiet. You don't need a candy heart to. Yeah, I know I'm getting deep and philosophical on this morning.
Wow.
The love doctor here, Darren Mullen.
Is that how you and your fiance work? You just don't talk, but you still love each other?
Totally. She wishes I was silent, probably.
Wishes you were silent. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's good to see them back on the shelves. I love Valentine's Day. Lots of great candy out there. The day after Valentine's Day, though, that's my favorite day for all that candy.
So if men are listening, we are less than a month away, so start picking out your gifts now.
I mean, I already had mine bought in December, so I think I'm good. Still ahead, transgender Illinoisans can now get financial help as they transition. We'll take a look at the new state law that's making this possible.